Greetings, Cyclopeans. Welcome to Sci-Clops Podcast 20. And my name is Dan.
And I'm Tom.
And without further ado, we're going to go straight into Tom's latest news, which looks like it's a whole pile of comic books over here on the table.
It's only four. It's not
Four.
The whole pile's up in my room.
That's a pile on the pile I've got over there.
Well, we had a debut and then a new arc and a continuation of two fun titles. I got two from Marvel, two from DC. I'll start with Marvel. Kingpin #1 just came out this week, and this was an interesting. It seems like a lot of Daredevil stuff is popping up. When Marvel relaunched after Secret Wars, Daredevil had a series ongoing, but that was it. Now Bullseye's got a mini-series, Elektra's got her own series starting up, Kingpin's got his own series just starting up, so the whole Daredevil world is really starting to come to the forefront within Marvel Comics. And they're all part of the same storyline called Running with the Devil, which, as a Van Halen fan, I appreciate, as well as a comic fan.
It's always the thing I think of when they say that.
But this is interesting. Daredevil himself, even though the storyline is right now called Running with the Devil, doesn't actually make an appearance. Matt Murdock does in his, civilian guise as prosecutor, but no Daredevil yet. Basically, the premise of this is Wilson Fisk is trying to change the narrative of his life. Everybody sees him as a gangster and a murderer and a corrupt man who can't be trusted. And he freely admits he's all of those things, but he's decided he doesn't want to be that anymore. And he's hired a biographer, basically.
All right.
And he wants the biographer to see who he is now and write a book about him. And she's incredibly skeptical, as most people would be.
Cool.
And the whole series
would be with anything with Kingpin.
Yeah, the whole first issue is him just trying to convince her to take the job. It's definitely interesting because they really kind of play with you as, is this just a move by Kingpin or is this something he's really trying to do? And they've done this a few times in the past where Kingpin's tried to not be the murderous thug when he had a wife, Vanessa, and that didn't pan out very well.
Didn't see that coming.
No. But this will be interesting. I'm a huge Daredevil fan, so I'm glad to see that Daredevil is becoming very prevalent within the Marvel Comics universe.
Yeah.
I thought the Netflix shows were fantastic, and Vincent
I've
D'Onofrio.
heard great things about those too.
Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin was mesmerizing.
Oh my gosh, wasn't he Kingpin though?
Yeah, he was great.
He was Kingpin. Plays Vincent D'Onofrio. I can't say that name 3 times fast. Sorry, Vincent. My last name is worse, believe me. So.
But I thought that portrayal was fantastic, and it's interesting because Vincent D'Onofrio's take on Kingpin was kind of the same thing. He's a bad man who does bad things, but he tries to make it for the greater good, basically. But one issue in, I'm hooked. I'm into this. I'm a little bummed, like I said last week, that Bullseye's series is just going to be only 5 issues. But hey, I'll never complain about Daredevil. On the other spectrum of Marvel, we have the 4th issue of Inhumans vs. X-Men. Like I said last time, the Inhumans are starting to make their counterattack on the X-Men. And now a couple of the new Inhumans that the X-Men don't even know about, who recently got their powers, are banding together to try to figure out where the X-Men are holding the Inhuman royal family and all, the big heavy hitters. This one was a little funnier. There's an Inhuman who can kind of possess people and read their minds, and he hops into a couple people here and there. It leads to some kind of funny character moments. This one was a little bit lighter on the action because the Inhuman royal family is locked away in limbo. Yep. The X-Men are trying to figure out a way to get rid of the Eternian Cloud. So this was mostly a kind of set the stage for the final showdown kind of issue. But it's still good. And we got 2 to go. And this is I don't know, because I have a feeling this might not end well for the Inhumans, because with all those X-Men titles that are coming to the forefront with Weapon X, X-Men Gold, X-Men Blue Team, all new Wolverines coming out, I don't think they'd be having this many X-Men titles popping up if the X-Men were going to lose. So if I were the Inhumans, I might be a little nervous.
It's like they're putting their money behind the X-Men on these.
Yeah. Well, it's tough because the X-Men are a humongous franchise. They're so entrenched in just the global presence
right to the
everywhere.
movies too. They can't kill them off in the comic books and then have them survive in the movies. So I don't know what they're going to do. Just like which is odd
because there's a new Inhumans title launching, Inhumans Prime. Mm-hmm. So it's not like the Inhumans comics are getting canceled or anything. But it's just they're clearly repositioning the X-Men as big players where before they were kind of toning them down because the whole issues with Fox and trying to get the rights back and all that, giant hoopla trying to establish who owns what.
Yeah.
But 2 issues to go, and hopefully it wraps
you're liking
up.
It?
Well. I'm liking it, yeah. Okay. But it's making me nervous for those poor Inhumans. And on to DC.
DC.
Even though this is technically the 7th issue in the series, this is the start of a new arc for All-Star Batman. Basically, for those of you who are not familiar with what the premise of All-Star Batman, every 6 issues, Scott Snyder is the writer, but every 6 issues, the arc changes to a different character focus, and the artist changes as well.
Right.
His first outing was about Two-Face, and it was John Romita Jr. who was the artist. This time, the not really antagonist, the Batman character drawn into is Poison Ivy, and it's Tula Lotay who's doing the art. And the thing that I loved about All-Star Batman is it took Two-Face, who really didn't pop up much at all in the New 52. And Two-Face is always kind of one of those goofy villains. Yep. He wears a suit with 2 different colors. And he flips a coin, and he robs banks.
But he's been around forever.
Yes,
way back.
But the arc that they did with him made him
I read him when I was a kid.
It took Two-Face from being this cartoon character into being a terrifying mobster.
Yeah.
And it was a great storyline, and I loved it. And I was very excited to get through the whole thing. And now I'm really looking forward to the second arc. And it's taken another character who didn't do all that much in the New 52, at least not the ones I was reading. I read Batman Detective Comics, and Poison Ivy made a guest appearance here or there, but she wasn't in it much. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with Poison Ivy this time around. The story here is the final arc, or the final issue of All-Star Batman was actually about Mr. Freeze. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Freeze digging for viruses up in the Arctic cold that got preserved there. And this issue is dealing with the fallout of that. And it's a virus that came from a plant, and nobody knows plants better than Poison Ivy. So Batman has to go to her for help with this thing. Poison Ivy really seems to not want to do much to do with Batman here. She kind of helps him out begrudgingly and kicks him off and sends him on his way. So I'm kind of wondering how they're going to rope her into the entire arc. But I thought it was great. It's a little weird to be reading a series and have the art change so suddenly like that. But I thought Tula Lotay's art was great. It's set mostly in the desert, and Poison Ivy's contrasting, green and purple and all that with the desert landscape was great. And even Batman's got this wacky green kind of neon suit going on that looks great. So All-Star Batman continues to be a high point. Scott Snyder and his run on Batman in the New 52 was easily the high point for the character, and I think he's doing a fantastic job with All-Star Batman. So I will continue reading that and looking forward to that every time a new issue comes out. Which brings me to my last one, which is Justice League Power Rangers 2.
Awesome.
And as wacky and ridiculous as it sounds, it gets even better.
There's nothing ridiculous about Justice League teaming up with Power Rangers.
So the Power Rangers have ended up in the DC universe, accidentally bringing their villain Lord Zed with them.
I just can't stop laughing.
And every time a superhero team up kind of happens, they of course have to wind up fighting each other before they wind up stopping the bad guy.
What did you say? What's your classic statement?
If everybody just sat down and talked about it for a second, nothing bad would happen. But nobody does.
Tell each other what's on their minds.
It's always face kicks and trying to murder people. But anyway, so
what's wrong? Nothing. That means we're going to be fighting in about 45 minutes.
So the Justice League and the Power Rangers have a mini scuffle here. The Power Rangers even wind up bringing their Zords into it, and it's fun. Finally, midway through the issue, they manage to realize that they're actually both heroes. And we figure out what happened to Zed. Zed kind of got lobbed into outer space and captured by a villain who is going to be teaming up with him for the rest of the arc. I don't want to give it away.
Yep.
But it was actually a fun kind of team up, and the way Zed kind of manipulates the villain to work with him is actually pretty ingenious. So I think this is also 2 of 6, so we only got 4 more issues to go.
Cool.
But I think it's wacky and ridiculous for all the right reasons, and I am looking forward to the remaining issues here.
Great.
And that's all I got for comics from me this week.
Okay, so that takes care of comics. What are you going to cover next? Movies?
I'll go with my TV stuff.
TV first.
TV actually have some fun stuff.
TV's been really good this week.
Arrow, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow.
Here we go.
Arrow kind of took a detour. We kind of let Prometheus go to the back burner a little bit.
Right.
And this episode, Bratva, was about them having to go to Russia to catch the corrupt general who's been putting the screws to Diggle.
Yep.
And this one was interesting because the flashbacks in the last 2 seasons were kind of ridiculous, and it was like, oh, aren't these awfully convenient that Oliver's learned this exact lesson he needs to know right now? But this is the flashbacks here are starting to get really interesting. Talia al Ghul was introduced the last episode, and she wants to train Oliver and send him back to Starling City as a vigilante, basically a pseudo member of the League of Assassins. And it's still not really clear why. How did she know Oliver was in Russia? Why is she so keen on turning him into a better fighter? What is she really hoping to get out of this?
So they're still keeping her kind of shadowy.
She's and Oliver is skeptical, as he should be, but it's good because even I can't.
Yeah, wouldn't you be skeptical of anything Batman's girlfriend comes up with?
Well, of course, if Batman existed, but we'll see
with
that.
Batman? Yeah. Well, we're going to be checking on everything you say.
But in the present, we get more of kind of the fall in season 2. Oliver kind of burned bridges with his Russian contacts when he was trying to catch Deathstroke. So we actually do get fallout from that 3 seasons later, and it's really well played. And Felicity's storyline continues to play out in a way I was kind of thinking it would. And it's really odd. They're starting to have Diggle and Felicity mirror like season 1 Oliver, where they're really vicious and the ends justify the means. Mm. You know, it doesn't matter what you do as long as in the end the greater good is, service.
Yeah.
So
Oliver was killing people.
Oliver was just dropping bodies like they were going out of style.
Yeah. James Bond style.
So I like what they're doing with Diggle and Felicity, and it's nice to have her have a storyline independent of everybody else. The action was really good this week. It was the first outing for Dinah Drake's new Black Canary with the team.
Cool.
And it was fun to see that all kind of mesh together. We did actually get a character who had to leave the team for a certain reason, but promising he'll be back. So that's interesting. Which is sad because I really do like the new team that Oliver's established. Mm-hmm. And it kind of hit me this week when Oliver mentioned Thea being out of town. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot she was absent from the show. She kind of disappeared like 2 or 3 episodes ago. And that's kind of sad that her character really did so little this season that I just forgot she was even gone.
Yeah, and she's going to play kind of a bigger role later on down the line, I think, too. I'm
who knows?
But just looking at that Flash episode where everybody gets together, and Thea's kind of like, she has a bunch of lines in there where all the superheroes get together. Where I'm like talking 3 episodes ago or whatever, but
alien invasion.
Crossover. Thea speaks a lot in there. She does a lot of talking.
Well, it's funny because she's been adamant about not wanting to be a superhero anymore. And she hasn't been. She's aside from the invasion thing and one brief appearance in like the first episode, she hasn't donned the Speedy costume ever since.
Yep.
But she was just kind of Oliver's like aide.
Yeah.
She was setting up meetings
like
and
a secretary.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, I guess if that's all you're gonna do this season, and then she just disappeared, and it was like nothing changed on the show. It wasn't like the show was missing anything because she was gone. So hopefully, if they do bring Thea back, they give her more to do than just wander around and set up interviews for Oliver.
Poor Thea.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
We like Thea. We like.
She had a lot to do in the other seasons, but now she's just she was really annoying in season 1 and 2.
Oh, she was so bad. She was like, I'm high again. I got in trouble again. Yeah. I got no DWI again. I got high again. Like, oh god.
Yeah. So another solid outing for Arrow, and hopefully, when they get back to Starling City, Prometheus kind of comes back to the forefront. He doesn't need to be in every episode because that would kind of kill the mystery of the character. But they should be, that should be the main focus, trying to track the lunatic down and get him. Which brings me to Flash. And Flash, the last couple episodes, has really been gearing up Wally as the big, kind of, that he's even faster than
Kid
Barry
Flash
could be.
Is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, yeah.
And even in the last episode, Barry even said that. He goes, I'm not going to save Iris, you are.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Wally's not as fast as Barry yet, but compared to where Barry was when he started as the Flash, he's way faster.
He's got his head together.
Yeah. So they're continuing that trend here with he's trying to teach him all of his tricks, like how to phase through stuff when he runs. And poor Wally's just like smacking into walls.
I gotta tell you, I love this scene where he goes to Harrison Wells there. He pulls him aside. He goes, I want you to train me. And he goes, really? He goes, yeah. He knows what's going to happen. He goes, so you're going to do it? He goes, no. And he walks off. Total like smackdown.
Yeah.
He's just standing there like, God, nobody wants me. But he is a good character. He's
they've done a great job of taking Wally and making him a big deal. And this, which is when they started the post-Flashpoint storyline, there was Alchemy running around creating metahumans.
Yep.
and they said they found 6 husks of people who'd been turned into metahumans.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And they'd caught 4 of them, or at least knew of 4 of them. Number 5 made his appearance today, and his power is basically he touches something, he breaks it down to a molecular level, and he decays it.
Ugh.
So you can't even touch the guy, or he'll kill you. And so it was them trying to figure out a way to stop him, and without touching him, and Barry desperately trying to teach Wally how to do stuff like phase, because if something ever happens to Barry, Wally's going to have to pick up the slack. And so Wally really does come through. He has a big shining moment there. I don't want to give anything away, but Wally's really gearing up to be just as big a hero as the Flash is. And the next couple...
and by the way, you can see how that's going into social media now. Like, I'm watching social media, and you're seeing Kid Flash appear more and more and more all over social media. People are really going for this, so it's really hot right now. So you said the next up is what?
Next up is, at the end of the episode, they always do like a stinger or a post thing, which kind of gives you an impression of what the next episode will be like. And Wally's kind of on his own, just training, and a portal opens up, and...
as it always does.
Jesse jumps through from Earth 2, that Harrison Wells' daughter. And she says Grodd has her dad. And then it cuts out. Because the next, they're going to do a two-parter where they go to Earth 2 and have to save that version of Harrison Wells.
I am pumped about that two-parter.
I am really looking forward to it. Because that means we're going to see Tom Cavanaugh with Tom Cavanaugh.
Yeah, it's going to be...
He's going to be H.R. Wells.
It looks cool.
And Harrison Wells.
It looks like it's going to be a really interesting couple episodes. And
yeah.
Ironically, I was watching the King Kong trailer, writing something about it on the site, and then I flip over, and there's the Grodd episode coming up on my phone. I was like, oh, man, there it goes. So it's like
they've been really trying to make this up for a big event. They did a whole big promo for it. I did like
it's
the
funny,
one...
because last week I was just asking you, like, are we going to see more of Grodd? Are we going to see anything with him? And sure enough, here comes that double whammy episode of Grodd, of all
which is
things,
great, because Grodd is a classic Flash villain.
Yeah.
And I did love the One Nation Under Grodd storyline they did, which was great, a lot of fun. But this will be... Now we're going to have 3 speedsters in the same episode. We're going to have Flash, Kid Flash, and Jesse Quick from Earth 2. So, the action on this two-parter is probably going to be bonanza.
I think they're getting really... I got to tell you, as hokey as the Flash is, and even some of the special effects are so silly, but it's... I don't know what it is. I'm hooked on this show. It's such a great show, and I love... the episode where all the superheroes come out of, he pulls them all together, one big team, and they're just flying all over the place and blasting things. I was like, that's fantastic. That's what you'd watch these for.
And the Flash is really doing something a little bit better than Arrow is, where they're juggling everybody well. Arrow is still doing it well, but like I said, Thea just kind of fell through the cracks there and did nothing. But Flash really kind of, even the new Julian character played by Tom Felton really feels like he's become a big part of the cast, because he's become obsessed with finding the last meta.
Yeah, Julian's
that Alchemy
cool.
created. Well, he created as Alchemy. He's obsessed with finding that last guy before he does any harm.
I gotta hand it to the actor Felton there, because he played such a nasty character in Harry Potter.
Oh,
and then he's just doing it again, and he was such you just hated him in the beginning of the Flash.
The difference here
but
is
now he's great.
He's got a human
good
side.
Of an actor. He's like he comes across as this jerk, and he's gradually morphing into somebody. Everybody's like really pumped that he's on the team.
Here's
like,
the
what's
best
he
part.
gonna do now?
The Grodd two-parter is coming up.
Yep.
And the trailer, he goes, "Are you going to Planet of the Apes?" And Barry goes, "No, it's just the city of them." He goes, "It's Planet of the Apes." Tom Felton was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes as the zoo. So I'm like, he's got to go with them.
He's got to go with them, and they're gonna do something. They can't resist doing some kind of joke about this.
Oh, they got to.
I bet they do.
I laughed so hard, and I'm like, oh my god, Tom Felton's in this. He's got to go and
it's so nice to see that the like the CW is just taking. They're so relaxed about the whole thing, and they're just putting things together and trying stuff out, and their writers are really good, and it's all working, and it's really a lot of fun. And it's so much fun to watch now, It's so much different than we used to watch years ago. But anyway, I didn't mean to take it too far.
No, you're fine. It's fantastic television, and
it is.
They're really killing it.
You're like, I can't wait till the next episode comes out. I never used to say that about. Well, I did. I mean, but you didn't. Later
for like every random show.
Yeah, you'd be like,
everything
okay,
on TV
and then
was
they burn
great.
me out. And I think things really didn't. For me, things really didn't start getting great until they put the Terminator series out, which was back in
2009.
2009. And all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, something's different here. This is really well written stuff. And then all of a sudden things got better and better, and now we're in the golden age of television again, or the renaissance of television. So we were talking about this a lot on a lot of episodes we do here, because we're really pumped about how good TV is. You're not turning it on, and then you get out and you're like, well, that was stupid. Now I got to wait another 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're
and my last one for DC TV is Legend of Tomorrow. and this episode was called Turncoats.
Yep.
And I told you last time that the Legion of Doom did something to Rip. Well, it looks like whatever they did to Rip really screwed him up bad, because he went back to the past and shot George Washington in the face. So that causes kind of a big deal in history. And he does that knowing that the team is going to show up and try to stop him, and he's going to try to steal the Spear of Destiny. So he is full-on villain. Rip Hunter is the bad guy in this episode. And it really leads to some great character interactions as the team slowly figures out he's evil.
Yep.
And that they're now not just going to have to face the Legion of Doom, but him as well.
You get a kick at how many times they're getting away with this plot idea. Let's change the past. And we love it. You know, it's like when
that's the whole premise of the show.
It's the whole thing. You just keep going back and forth through the past and fixing
stuff. But they did the one episode in Colonial Times before. Yeah. But it was funny because not only does Rip go back to the past and murder Washington, but he brings the British Army like M16s. And so like
M16s.
Yeah. So you got a scene of like Jax running away on the Wave Rider from two redcoats shooting at him with assault rifles, and you're like, that's something I didn't think I'd ever see.
That's awesome.
But it was a great episode. Nate and Amaya kind of pair off on their own for this one. Heatwave winds up getting stuck with Washington himself. And Washington is this very, upright, gentlemanly, noble, and Rory's Heatwave's just looking at him and goes, no, that's not what America's all about. We're sneaky, we're vicious, we don't quit.
Heatwave's awesome.
Anytime him and Washington were on screen, it was pretty funny.
That is it. I was just saying to Tom, I was looking at Heatwave in the Flash episode, and I was saying he reminds me of who? And I was saying,
oh, it's Batista.
But
Dominic Purcell and Batista kind of look like.
But in
big
that
dude, shaved head,
that Guardians of the Galaxy trailer where what's her name is reading the mind.
Mantis.
I love that. Mantis is reading the mind, and he's like,
you just revealed your deepest, darkest secret. You must be so embarrassed.
You must be so.
Do me.
I love that.
That's
what he reminds me of. Yeah. Heatwave, like you can see them. If they ever get together in an episode,
would be brothers. Yeah.
It's going to be a blast.
Well, Marvel, DC, so that would never happen.
It'll never happen. Darn it! But maybe
fun.
we'll hold out hope. We never thought we'd get this far with TV and all these episodes. Who ever thought we'd be seeing half these characters on screen and the stuff coming up in the next wave of TV, which we talked about in previous episods. It's like Black Lightning and all this stuff.
Which brings me to that's all I got for TV reviews, but there actually is a lot of TV news that went on this week. Samurai Jack season 5 is coming out this March. I was a humongous Samurai Jack fan when it was on TV. When they did a comic series by IDW, I loved it, thought it was fantastic. But now Genndy Tartakovsky, after 12 agonizing years,
and tormenting you by like, well, I might.
He's finally coming back to do this, and he just released. There was the first trailer drop for it.
We had it up,
and the trailer was perfect.
People are going crazy.
He said this is going to be a darker, harder hitting Samurai Jack than you remember, and it's definitely there's blood. And, crazy amounts of violence, and it looks great. And like I said, it's because now he's aiming it for people my age who were fans of the show when they were kids.
Adult Swim.
Yeah, and now there's 12 years later, so they're in their mid to late 20s, and they don't want to watch, I would still watch a Samurai Jack cartoon the way he did it back then, but this looks great.
Yep.
And the one thing they haven't really announced yet, or maybe I haven't seen it, is the actor who voiced Aku the Demon in the original Samurai Jack, Mako, passed away a few years ago. So they haven't announced who they're going to use as his recasting yet, I don't think. But
I haven't seen anything about it. I've been looking around.
This thing looks fantastic. And I think he said this is pretty much it. This is the wrap-up that everyone's been waiting for. So it's, finally, it's only over a decade away. But I'm looking forward to it. We're less than a month away, I think, at this point. And I think it's going to be fantastic.
My prediction on this, you'll see a Samurai Jack movie in theaters if this goes really well. If this cartoon does really well, they'll do something with Samurai Jack and put him in theaters, and it'll probably do fairly well. So, what do you got next?
What else? Two things funny enough, two things relating to Adi Shankar. Anyone who has seen the Dirty Laundry short film he did for Punisher, or the Power / Rangers short film he did, where it was like very dark and brutal and R-rated. He loves doing that. He produced the Judge Dredd movie with Carl Urban that came out in 2012.
Okay.
So he's no stranger to uber violence and lots of bloodshed. But he's doing a Netflix Castlevania series.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be animated.
Yep.
And he said it's going to be very R-rated, very violent. Castlevania, for those who may not know, is basically the story of a warrior who's on the quest to destroy Dracula.
Yeah.
The most
way back. How far
Castlevania
back
was back to the late 80s, I think. Yeah. And the most recent games have become very popular, and I think that's what the sort of the storyline they're going with. Gabriel Belmont is the name of the main character, and he's on the quest to destroy Dracula by any means necessary.
Yep.
And Adi Shankar is going to be producing and I believe writing the series.
Awesome.
And that's great because I loved his work before. I loved Dread. I loved the Dread remake in 2012. I thought the short films he did were fantastic, and apparently he's also actually writing a TV series for Power Rangers in the vein of that short film he did, where
cool.
it's going to be super hyper violent and just an R-rated version of Power Rangers.
Really?
Yeah. And he said it's going to be a retelling of the first 3 seasons. Well, that's the thing. He's got to pitch it to Netflix, and then they got to get the people from Saban. And Saban is no way going to go for that, because Saban has always maintained family-friendly status.
Yeah, Power Rangers is a family-friendly thing, even though they got the the new outfits and everything, but it's family-friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like...
You're not going to watch anybody in Power Rangers, slice someone's throat open or blow somebody's head off. Or
I'm not thinking that's going to go anywhere. Because you go to conventions, and it's generally people in the Power Rangers thing are moving, it's kids and stuff. It's fun. And
I would love to see it, but like I said, I don't think Saban is ever going to let it get off the ground. I just cannot envision.
I think short of a
fan
film, or maybe years from
now. Well, that's he did the fan film, and that was fantastic, but you can't, no way Saban is going to let you do a TV series like that. Which is a shame, because I get how it's not everybody's cup of tea. I can certainly understand that, but I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I think... the last bit of TV news I have is... I talked about that X-Men pilot series Bryan Singer's working on that doesn't have a name yet, but the basic premise is they live in a government where mutants are basically kind of executed almost on sight. Yeah. And the family has to go on the run when the parents discover that the kids are mutants. We haven't really heard much news out of it, but now we've seen that Blair Redford has been cast as a character named Sam in the show. He's going to be a mutant. No word on what kind of power he'll have or anything. But it looks like the Singer series is moving along at a pretty steady pace. And I don't know if they've started filming yet, but we're starting to get cast dribs and drabs here. So it looks like they are moving pretty far ahead with that.
Very cool. So we'll see. And X-Men is the gift that keeps on giving. It just keeps going.
Oh, there's a couple
bad ones. There's
only like 8 million X-Men stories on.
It's still a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I don't even care about the bad ones. At the time, we're like, oh darn, but
Dazzler.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking that bad.
One of the lamest X-Men ever.
I was thinking the movies, not Dazzler. Good Lord.
Did
you have to go there?
I'm sorry, but here's the best part.
Did you have to do that?
In Inhumans versus X-Men, Dazzler, of all people, is the one to take out Black Bolt.
Oh, God.
It was
Dazzler.
The biggest, hilarious thing ever. Black Bolt's whole thing is...
Straight out of 1985.
Yeah, his voice is like uber destructive. and so Black Bolt's trying to take out Emma Frost, and Dazzler gets in the way. And she redirects the energy straight back to Black Bolt. So one of the lamest X-Men ever takes out the Inhuman King.
Inhuman King, yeah.
And you're like,
Dazzler. You gotta wonder what they were thinking when they did that.
It's
what
the 80s.
In God's name were they thinking?
Yeah.
Like they were sitting around the table, hey, this has been working really well. Let's fix it and put Dazzler in. And
why not?
I don't know. I just think somebody had like Madonna playing in the background.
Yeah. Well, the thing with the X-Men is like that'll happen.
Here's an idea.
And characters in the X-Men will just disappear like for years and years at a time, and then it's convenient for them to show up again and they're back.
Yeah, they'll find them living on an island or something. Like some Jedi do, and they have to go disappear.
Crybaby. All my students died. My nephew tried to kill me.
I've caused complete chaos in the Force. I think I'll go hide on an island again.
Just ask Yoda. That doesn't end well.
Yeah, that's running and hiding stuff. Yeah.
Obi-Wan did it. Died. Yep. Yoda did it. Died. Luke.
We're not holding out too much hope. There's a lot of worry coming up. So anyway.
But anyway, on to...
That's a great theory, by the way.
Yeah.
What you just said. I don't think I've seen anybody mention that.
No, they all
die when they go running off, and you can't hide. You can't run and hide.
On to the realm of movies. I only
Sorry,
got a couple
folks.
things.
We had to go Star Wars there for a minute.
It looks like the Batman solo movie finally has a director.
Yeah, I saw
Matt Reeves.
Are we sure of this? We're still
confirmed.
Matt
Reeves, who did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the second one, is going to be doing the solo Batman movie. And of the two in the series so far, I thought Dawn was the better movie than Rise. Rise was still good, but Dawn, I thought, just really fired on all cylinders.
Did you see? I didn't mean to cut you short. I wanted to tell you. Oh darn! Here's they were looking at Ridley Scott was being considered.
Yeah,
they were looking at that,
which
and
I, in a weird way, would kind of like to see a Ridley Scott Batman movie.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I think that would be
nothing against
not what you'd expect out of a Batman movie.
Matt Reeves. Nothing against Matt Reeves. It's just that we're big Aliens fans and we're big with all that. And,
look at what stuff Ridley Scott's done fantastic movies. Yeah. Gladiator, fantastic.
Oh my God. That's like one of my very favorite movies of all time. Gladiator, and I'm still kicking myself today. I never saw that in the theater, and I saw it on a big screen at someone's house. I was like, "This is unbelievable!" I love that movie. I could watch that.
And that's the great thing about Ridley Scott is he's not a one-trick pony. He can do Alien, he can do Gladiator. Yeah. He did The Counselor, which was kind of a drama with Michael Fassbender, which was fantastic. I mean, the guy, he's all over the board, and it's great.
Yeah, and who was the other guy? Don't Breathe. And Don't Breathe.
Fede Alvarez?
Fede Alvarez?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
He did the...
We apologize for mangling your name. We know you're listening.
2013 Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really good.
But Don't Breathe.
And Don't Breathe.
One of the hottest things of the summer. It came out
Which would be interesting because the Batman character does lend itself more to the horror genre than most.
He's very dark.
That great scene...
But there's two guys who would do it really well.
That scene in Batman vs Superman where the cops are in the building looking around, and then you see up in the corner he's just hanging there waiting for him. You're like, oh my God! Yeah, that's great.
That scene reminds me of a movie in about 1978 came out, and they had mental powers, and I want to say scanners.
Scanners, brains exploding.
Was it Scanners when they were floating around? They could float around in the room. I don't think it might have been Scanners. And then there was a scene where he or she walks in, and the other one's like up there, way up in the alcove, way up high and near the ceiling. And it was really creepy at the time. I'm like, the brain's exploding and stuff. But that was the scene that I thought about. And I apologize if I got the wrong movie. I think it was Scanners.
Who doesn't like Scanners?
Scanners was awesome. Yeah. The very last scene, blam, the head blows up. I was like, whatever. But anyway, so we're I was looking at that. As of 24 hours ago, we weren't sure if Matt Reeves was going to get the gig, but I guess they're going to do it now. I think they're in a hurry. Which, if I may just add something here, this brings us to me to a point which I was going to cover earlier, which are next. We're looking at the site while we're talking here, and we had posted about Batman, and then we had just previously posted that Manganiello was Joe. I forgot. I hope I'm saying his name right too. He was going to play Deathstroke, and he's still preparing. So he's still going with or at least they're still paying him to train and do everything he's supposed to do.
It was never a doubt that they were going to do the movie. It was just
they just don't
doubt who was going to direct.
Well, no. The word I'm reading is that they don't know if Deathstroke's going to be in there or not, because with the movie being changed, this guy might come along and say, I don't want to work with Deathstroke.
I don't think they would have done all that test footage.
Surprising. You would dangle someone like Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke over everybody for that long, and then yank it back, and then not have a complete outcry from the fans. Because I know people are kind of like watching it. Well, maybe not outcry, but you can't keep screwing with the fans, especially not.
Well, the thing like that is with all the cacophony and distress that the DC Extended Universe has had, especially when they booted Zack Snyder as the head of the whole thing.
Yeah,
they really need some nice calm waters for a while.
And here's Affleck gone, and then
because
some other
Zack Snyder
Superman
is a fine director, but they really needed somebody like Kevin Feige at Marvel to oversee the whole thing, and that's what Jeff Jones is doing. And Jeff Jones is the perfect guy to be doing this. But they, after all that drama with the whole Zack Snyder getting booted and all these casting changes and reshoots rumors, they really just need a nice couple of solid movies to just get out without any real drama and fuss and all this.
Somebody's got to write this boat.
Yeah,
is what you're saying, and
that's hopefully what Jeff Jones is going to do.
Right. Well, we'll see. It's coming.
I can't wait. I think Deathstroke is a great choice.
Joe Manganiello play here. Joe, I know you're listening, so again, I apologize for mangling your name. And one of these days, you guys are all going to see my last name, and you're going to jump up and down on it because it's a mess. Yeah. Anyway, so we got the Batman news.
On the other side of the fence at Marvel, Kirk Douglas. Cool. Michael Douglas.
Kirk Douglas.
Yeah, Kirk Douglas.
Awesome.
Michael Douglas has confirmed that he's going to come back for Ant-Man 2 as Hank Pym.
Yep.
Which I think is great because I thought Ant-Man was one of the surprise hits of the Marvel Extended Universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Ant-Man, again, is one of those characters that you'd think Ant-Man is getting a movie. Really?
Yeah.
You're going to do Ant-Man?
And now the Wasp.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp was going to be the sequel.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
But Ant-Man was
okay.
great. It didn't play out like your typical superhero movie. They said it was more like a heist drama movie, and it was.
It did really
and
well,
it was great.
from what I heard.
Yeah, it did well. And he popped up in Civil War, and he was hilarious. He stole every scene he was in Civil War. So I'm really looking forward to the sequel, and I think it's great that we're getting Douglas back in there as Hank Pym to kind of mentor him and prod him along.
Very cool.
And it's nice because some of these people just disappear. Like Natalie Portman just disappeared after like Thor 2.
Well, she quit the series.
No, she just disappeared. She's still got like 3 or 4 movies on her contract, but they're just not using her.
Oh, I had heard.
Nope. Yeah, she's still locked
maybe
in.
I misunderstood it. I thought she
Same
quit
with
the
Gwyneth
series.
Paltrow. Just disappeared as Pepper Potts.
I almost wonder, and I'm probably going to get in trouble by somebody for saying this, is that Portman, she seems to have been doing superhero movies, and all of a sudden she's doing stuff like Jackie, and I think somebody may have gotten to her and said, "You're too smart for this greasy kid stuff. You need to do movies that are respectable."
She definitely wasn't
and
happy.
after Jackie bombs, which is not done well.
Yeah.
But the critics are kissing the behinds or whatever put that one together, and all this other nonsense, and she can get back to making $150 million on one of these movies, and I don't know, she did good in the Thor movie.
Well, the thing is, I think again, Thor 2 had a pretty rocky production history that surprisingly doesn't get talked about. There was originally a director that Portman wanted to direct the movie. It was going to be a big deal because it would have been, I think, the first female director for a superhero movie. And it was maybe not the first female director for superhero, but it was a female director.
I think it might have been.
And
who else do we know who directed a Superman?
Patty Jenkins is doing Wonder Woman, but that's the only one I can think
but
of.
she hasn't finished.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so they had the whole thing set, and then at the last minute, Marvel ousts whoever they wanted and replaces them with the director Thor 2 got.
Okay.
So she was not happy about that at all.
All right.
So
maybe she bailed on that.
Maybe she bailed. Maybe
I'm
they just got
her
sick of her.
Clearly, she's had some great movies.
Which is a shame because it's kind of sad that the characters who seem to disappear from the Marvel Cinematic Universe are all women.
Yeah.
It really is a boys' club.
I'd like to see her stay in superheroes. I mean, critics will say her breakout was Black Swan, and because of the
great movie,
lesbian scene and all that nonsense with what's her name,
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. But I think for the fans, the breakout scene was definitely oh my god, my mind blank is really bad here. The white mask. She's locked in the room. She's locked in. What was the one where she plays the victim and she's in the room and the guy? Everybody wears the white mask.
V for Vendetta?
V for Vendetta. Good lord.
Oh.
Boy, do I lose on that one. V for Vendetta. We went to that. And I apologize
that was a good one.
I just suddenly had a mind blank. I was looking and I saw another movie and I replaced it in my head.
Yeah.
And that was a huge movie in the underground. And I think for me, that was what made her. Because the Star Wars movies, you knew her name and all, but
yeah,
she
that didn't
so
do any favor.
good with it. It really wasn't like, boy, you were a really good actor, because I think she was constrained.
Her and Hayden Christensen had no chemistry.
And I don't think it's her fault. I
Yeah.
think she was told, act like this, do this, say this, and she's like, she probably was sweating
Well,
bullets
that's
on
the
the
thing.
start.
I heard
God, I'll be lucky if I get
Lucas
another.
was really over directing on
yeah,
those.
yeah. But at any rate, she did V for Vendetta, and that seemed to be really hot. The fans love that movie,
Yeah.
and that's got a huge underground following. And
That was a good one.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all. I just hopefully she'll come back. Hopefully we'll see her in store.
There's plenty of female superheroes you can do.
Yeah.
And it's like because I know the rights to Hulk are tied up to Universal for a Hulk solo movie. I don't know if that includes like She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Yeah, I was wondering if She-Hulk.
Yeah, because. I mean,
they are
doing a Captain Marvel movie, which is good.
You'll see Captain Marvel. Wonder Woman is going to be the trendsetter.
Yeah.
If anything happens, it's going to be from Wonder Woman, and it looks like they are pouring
here's the
a lot
insane
of money
thing:
into Wonder
the
Woman.
fact that DC is still going to beat Marvel
Yeah.
to the first solo superhero movie when Marvel started doing their cinematic universe back in 2008.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad that it took them. By the time Captain Marvel comes out, it'll be over 10 years. I think.
Yeah.
So.
But I think what's going to be really interesting about Wonder Woman is to see just how good it does, and does it now set the trend for a lot of female. Plus, on the other side, you do have you have the Harley Quinn thing coming out, and you have
Sirens of Gotham.
Sirens, and I'm sure you're going to have a
that'll be a lot of fun,
Harley
yeah.
solo. So I I believe the women are here in the movies.
It's starting to get there,
and
which is good.
It's just they're being made
Yeah.
right now, so we're not seeing it just because they're all in production
Yeah.
and pre-production. So I think in the next 5 years you're going to see a ton of women movies come out, female movies, and I think the fans are going to be hot for it because judging by what we see at the cons, you and I, everybody's dressed up, and what's going to be the hot costume this year?
Oh, it's Wonder Woman, yeah.
Wonder Woman. Everybody's gonna be a Wonder Woman this year if she does well.
Well, I saw the first trailer, and I think the trailer really kind of got my hopes up for this.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of nervous, like how really into this are they going to go with the whole she is a mythical goddess kind of thing, or are they going to try to realistic it for us?
Yeah.
But no, they went leaned into it.
I knew as soon as she had the God Killer, because they weren't putting that together. They're like, oh, she gets the God Killer sword, and then so wonder what will happen. Well, she's going to go after somebody big.
Yeah.
If she's got the God Killer sword, she has to. It's the God Killer sword.
I think this is going to be a great movie, and I think it's nice that we're finally starting to see all these other female superheroes get their due. And I actually would like a She-Hulk movie. Now, the more I think about it, I think a She-Hulk movie would be a lot of fun.
We'll see, and I think it's going to be... By the way, have we confirmed whether Cheetah's going to be in Wonder Woman or not?
Who?
Cheetah?
Oh, no. The running theory is, if you haven't heard, mild spoiler alert, so skip ahead like 10 seconds. It looks like the bad guy in this one's going to be Ares.
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah.
I just wonder if...
Oh, no, I don't know if
they
setting
might
up...
drop Cheetah
They
in there
might.
as well.
They could set it up for the future, but no, as of right now, I haven't heard anything.
Because they like to do that. They'll put like a main bad guy and then maybe
which is what I think they're doing with Aquaman.
Cameo of somebody
with
else.
Aquaman, they're going to do the Black Man and Ocean Master.
Ocean Master, yeah. Okay. And Aquaman's been dropping in names right and left too.
I'm super pumped about Tamura Morrison.
Yeah, boy, they're putting a lot of money up on that one too. So, like we said last week, they're spending a lot of money on Aquaman. So get ready for that. So anyway, the women in this kind of turned into a. We started talking about Ant-Man, and we turned into a women in
stream
movies.
of consciousness.
But that's where it's trending, and it's going to be exciting to see. And I hope. Is it Patty Jenkins?
Yes.
I hope she does a really good job with this because I
Yeah.
don't go for it just because it's a woman. I just like to see 50% of the population is women. Let's see what they can do, and I bring them out. Let them go to town on this. Let's see what they can do with it. They might make some fantastic materials. Let's see it, and that's all I'm standing behind. The hell with the PC.
Nothing can be as bad as Daredevil the movie.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Or Judge Dredd the movie.
Oh God. Let's not go any further.
There's plenty of bad male-driven comic movies.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I actually did. Speaking of comic stuff, I did forget. I do have one other bit of comic news. So after we get through Inhumans vs. X-Men, it looks like the next big event at Marvel is going to be it's going to be called Secret Empire.
Cool.
The new Captain America series featuring Steve Rogers has all been about how because of what happened to Steve at Pleasant Hill, his history got rewritten and he turned into a Hydra agent.
Okay.
And he's been playing the long con kind of game, setting up his power base without anyone finding out. But it looks like the whole Secret Empire thing is he's going to get exposed as a Hydra agent, and it's going to be him trying to, basically take over the world as an agent of Hydra. Which is great because as fun as this has been to watch, Steve kind of manipulate and be the evil bad guy, I want Steve Rogers back as Captain America.
Yeah, the explosion of fury when they found out that he was going to be in a Hydra. Captain America's a Nazi?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Not just the super Nazis.
Ballistic.
The Nazis that were like the biggest Nazis of all.
Yeah. And people were so upset. There was so much anger.
Which is hilarious because he's a blonde, blue-eyed guy. Yeah. So, but I miss Steve Rogers as the big star-spangled hero who's just a hero. Because we have, the Punisher, who's the dark and gritty anti-hero. We have Daredevil, who's the tortured... anti-heroes are fun, but every now and again, you just like the big, white, baby-faced, superhero because he's a hero because he wants to be a hero.
Yeah.
Not because he's trying to avenge something or, go out there and do what he thinks needs to be done. So I think this will be a lot of fun. It's going to be a 9-issue series, 8 issues with a bonus 0 issue, and it's going to drop this April. I
want to throw something up there quick. It looks like Thandie Newton has joined the Han Solo movie, and they're
that's
dropping
another one that's getting a lot of
like crazy.
big cast for it too.
They're really putting a lot of publicity on this Han Solo movie, and who do we got there? Alden. You better do the names for me.
Oh, Aiden Eichenreich.
Is it Aiden or Alden?
Yep. Or I think it's 8.
But I
don't
got
know.
a typo there. I
Donald Glover,
Donald Glover.
Amelia Clark, and Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson.
That's a pretty star-studded cast.
yeah, it's going to be big names. a lot of
Eichenreich's
money.
pretty new, but
Yeah.
I mean he's Han Solo, so I
Yeah.
mean that's gonna up your profile pretty big.
And that's going to be interesting to see. I'm curious to see what they do with this movie.
There's a whole lot of places they could go with it.
Yeah.
In his pre Disney buying Star Wars, Han was actually an Imperial pilot
Yeah.
who ditched and left because he saw how they were abusing Chewbacca, and he busts him out, and the two of them make a run for it.
Oh.
And that's why Chewie owes him a life debt. So there's a whole bunch of stuff they could do with him.
Well, I'm wondering. I'm hoping Boba Fett, but we'll see. Or some good bounty hunters. You gotta have some good bounty hunters. The bad guy will be
I just
great.
want a Boba Fett movie.
Whatever they do, yeah, Boba Fett movie where he crawls out of the Sarlacc pit and
Guy
starts.
crawls
again.
out and just starts throwing thermal
Something.
detonators in there and kills the damn
Anything.
thing.
Get him out of that Sarlacc pit, which the whole fan base says he's out of the Sarlacc pit.
Everybody can pretty much agree on two things. A, the prequels suck, and Boba Fett's alive.
Yeah, that's that. Thank you. All set. And C, Luke better not die in this.
Oh
next
my
movie.
God! If they kill Mark
God
Hamill, I
help
might
whoever
I
does.
might rage. Just
There'll be
murder
riots.
someone in the street.
Riots like it, burning, fire, people being shot. It'll be crazy.
I was
Cars
watching.
being-
I'm watching Force Awakens, and that scene where where Han Solo's walking towards him on the bridge. I'm like, this really feels like he's gonna die here,
yeah.
but somebody at the last minute
my
will
God.
save him. He's gonna be fine. Chewie will save him, just like he always does.
you and the
then he
rest
gets
of the
a
world.
lightsaber through the chest, and I was
Through
like,
the
no.
Oh god, the whole theater bursts into tears. Like no, and then he gets dropped. What?
Like a jillion feet,
jillion
and then the
feet.
planet he's on
The
explodes.
planet explodes. And like, what else can we do to make sure he doesn't come back? You know,
He's
but
dead.
everybody was flipping out. Like, why are you walking the bridge? Turn around, stop. Let's not go any farther. This guy's kind of psychotic.
That's gonna be a scene that
Talking with him is not going to work.
that's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life.
It was the one bad decision Carrie Fisher made. It was telling Han Solo to go talk to our kid. She should have said, "You go talk to our kid." See how long it lasts. Anyway, that's going to be interesting to see what happens to that next movie. Which they got a countdown clock for that.
A
right?
clock.
Yeah,
What
pretty
are
funny.
we? 10 months away now.
Yeah, and we're goodness, I think I saw 111 days to Wonder Woman or something like that. If I got my memories
That's
right on
June,
that.
so that's
Yeah.
pretty soon.
Yeah, it's coming
relatively
up
speaking.
fast, really fast. So a lot of great stuff coming up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Logan on deck.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
boy, are we going to be pumped about that? we got
that's-
some big stuff coming up. We got
Logan,
if I could- if you don't
and
mind-
then Power Rangers.
we got
is
Power
next.
Rangers Logan. We got E3. We've got Alien Day, Star
Wonder
Wars
Woman.
Day, Comic Book Day.
Well, not
Wonder
Alien
Woman.
Day. Alien is coming out this May.
Yeah, Alien's coming out
Yeah.
this May. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's another one. And then the Predator movie's being that's way down the road. That's gonna be a
It's
way.
2018.
What else have we got this summer? A lot of big
Guardians of
stuff.
the Galaxy 2
Guardians
is
of the
coming
Galaxy
out.
2, yep.
There's
Good heavens,
one
there's
more.
so much going on. You can't even keep track of it. Justice League stuff.
Oh,
not
Thor.
the-
No, it's November.
November.
For Thor.
Oh well, we'll cover it as it comes.
Yeah.
Every week we're here.
And
Yeah,
last bit
screen.
of things I got is it's a little piece of video game news. Some Destiny 2 concept art
Okay.
has leaked. And Destiny was a game by Bungie that had so much hype around it. It was they've been building it up for years. It's their first new IP since Halo.
Okay.
I was on the hype train. I'll admit I was right on the bandwagon, and I was really looking forward to it. And I got it midnight launch. Went home, played it.
Yep.
It was good, but it really felt like it was lacking something. It just after a couple weeks, it just kind of got repetitive, and I was like, all right, and I sold it. And I never played any of the expansions, like the Forgotten King or the Forgotten King, the Taken King, or anything like that. And I heard once all those expansions dropped, the game got a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds to me like what happened is Activision really rushed Bungie to get this game out. And Bungie, basically, with all the expansions that came out, gave us what would have been the finished game.
Okay.
And I hate games that you have to buy 3 or 4 pieces of DLC to get what you should have gotten at release. So I know people who stuck with it throughout the entire thing and said it got much better once the expansions dropped.
But how much did it cost?
Yeah, that cost a lot of money. I didn't stick with it that long, but it looks like Destiny 2 is going to be dropping this year, 2017.
Okay.
I believe it's about 3 or 4 years since Destiny came out. And maybe not that long, but it's been a while. So hopefully they've learned from their mistakes, and by they I mean Activision, not Bungie. and hopefully Activision doesn't try to get them to get the game out the door and sell, because Destiny broke all kinds of records for selling. And I hope Activision doesn't think, well, because it did that well last time, it'll do that well this time.
Okay.
People have a pretty long memory when it comes to video games, and they remember what the game was when it came out. So just because you shattered all those records the first time, people are going to remember what happened.
They have a long
that.
memory because they put a hell of a lot of time into playing a video game.
Yeah.
Many, many, many hours. And then when you screw them, they're like, okay, I don't think I want to put 10,000 hours into another video game that you screwed me on the first time.
I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about Destiny 2. I might not pick it up launch day, but I probably will, so I can review it for this. But hopefully they, like I said, Activision doesn't try to get them to shoot, get it out the door, get it out, we gotta sell it. Because it's an intriguing premise, and it had some great visuals, and I felt like it could have been a fantastic game if it had some more time for polish and some better mission variety. So hopefully this time they caught that, and it'll be a better finished product all around when it drops.
And we will review it here, won't we? Well, as soon as we get it. Is that it for your
that's
list?
pretty much all I've got, yeah.
I got to throw a few things up this week. The first thing I'm going to put up is Northbound. It's a review we put online. It's a sci-fi survivalist web series, and you can watch the whole thing online. I watched it. The first season's out. It's wicked cool because there's only like little 7-minute episodes, and the whole thing together is like, I think, 45 minutes, under an hour maybe, and it's the North Star Saga prequel series, and it's going to be a group of movies that become a group of shorts that get turned into a movie, a mini movie, and then that becomes part of a saga. And it's on Geek Nation, and we got the link, and I'll have the link to the link and all that hoo-ha. And it's set in abandoned post-cataclysm wilderness, and there's a bunch of survivors, and they eke out a daily existence, and it's kind of cool. It's not high-tech stuff. It's very, very indie. Okay, so it's going to be it's very small budget, it's what's cool about it is it's got really, really great visuals. They do a real lot in this movie, and I actually really liked it. It was a real lot with very little dialogue, very little spoken, and tons of beautiful visuals. They do it up in, I think it's Michigan. They're up in Michigan filming the whole thing. I want to say Michigan. I'm going to double check really quick here. But they're up in Michigan filming, and the scenery is incredible. There's only a handful of characters. We actually covered one of the stars in Northbound, Kayla Kelly. She was a star of the day here. And we did a little post on her, and so we're really looking for. She's going to be in season 2. We're really looking forward to season 2, and we started watching it. We really like it. I watched the whole thing. I got people finishing it up right now, but there's one guy, and he's trying to take his sick daughter. He's got something happens where everybody in North America, at least where he is dead in a day. And it's a massive cataclysm.
The Stand?
The Stand. It's like The Stand in like 24 hours. And there's a handful of survivors, and he's got a sick kid. And so he's in the north trying to find a place he's trying to keep her alive and trying to survive. And there's this other group, not the red shirts, I forget what they refer them to, but they got red on them, and they're not nice. And so it's really interesting to watch him going from place to place, and the survivors all kind of like watching. Occasionally they'll run into another survivor. And this is all done in 7-minute episodes and shorter. So I was quite impressed with how much they jammed into a little tiny episode and how little dialogue was spoken. In the end, I was like, gee, I can't wait to see more of this. So
did they ever hint at what killed everybody?
They don't.
No? Oh, okay.
Not yet. And that's what's kind of cool. Nobody really knows. It looks like these guys in red are tied up somehow with a military base, and it looks like everybody on the base might know. It's always the military. It's always the military or the court. What do we say about aliens, you know?
He's
going to break in before this is over, find a whole bunch of alien eggs sitting in some big room or something. But,
what are these? Oh, God, my face!
I think I'll just look a little closer. Ah!
Oh my God, that scene in the Alien trailer where the guy leans over the facehugger egg, and you're just screaming at him, "You moron! You're going to die!"
Oh my God, it's another classic example of breaking every single thing you've been taught.
Take it out of the context of the alien movies. You get to an alien planet and you see this life form you've never seen before. Oh, I'll stick my face right over it.
Yep. So they stick their face, or they got to play with it, or whatever. So I'm guessing that's what's going to happen here.
Am I not supposed to eat her?
Yeah, the military was playing with something, and they let it out, and it killed everybody. And what was the Will Smith movie where they had the cure for cancer?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend, and they love. Oh, this is definitely going to work. And you got I love that movie because she had that smug look on her face. They go, "Are you sure?" Oh, don't worry, we know what we're doing. And 2 weeks later, everyone's dead. I was like, oh boy, that was a mistake. But anyway, this is pretty cool. Nobody knows what killed everybody. There's a odd military base that's doing much better off than everybody else. And these guys in red who seem like they're kind of playing a game with the military base, delivering people to them.
Oh,
and,
lovely.
Not cool. And they're kind of like kooky and weird. And then there's this guy, and so we're gonna find other survivors. And he, I don't want to say too much because it's not too much in this. It's 45 minutes, but yet there's a lot. So anyway, I don't want to go on about for half an hour, but it's really good. Highly recommend it. Go over it. We'll have the link, and you can watch this thing. You wrap the whole thing up in an hour. The other thing I wanted to talk about really quick was I have been reading. I'm trying to do a novel a week, which is just madness. 52 books in 52 weeks, and I'm behind, but I'm still reading away. And I just finished the Alien triple ones. I should count that as 3 because that was only 3 books, but we'll see. And I've decided to go just all out crazy and read the entire Dune series. I mean everything, right down to the short stories. Okay. So I went and I looked it up on Wikipedia.
You're gonna be there for a couple of months.
I looked it up on Wikipedia, and I just finished the very first one, which is actually Hunting the Harkonnens, and it's a short story. So you're gonna read. There's actually 31 novels and short stories in total. So I've totally lost my mind here, but I decided to do it because Dune is on the horizon. And who's working on Dune again? Who we say? Villeneuve. Villeneuve is working on Dune.
Yeah.
Dennis Villeneuve. And he said it's going to be...
Good luck.
Yeah, he said it's going to be his thing. This is the thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this right, and we're going to get done right once and for all.
The spice must flow.
So, anyway, I'm reading... Hunting Harkonnens is a short story, but it's wicked cool. And it was written by Kevin J. Anderson and Brian Herbert, because, Frank started this in 1965.
Brian Herbert. Why does that name sound familiar?
Brian Herbert, he's written a bunch of stuff, but mostly, he's tied up with the Dune thing. And so, and I believe don't quote me on this, I think he's like executive producer or something on this new movie or whatever. I think the Herbert family's tied up with Villeneuve. And again, I hope I'm not messing up with Villeneuve.
It's always refreshing to hear that somebody with ties to the original source material is working on something.
There's multiple people looking at this going, let's not screw this up. So, and anyway, I decided to read them, and I love Dune, and I loved the prequels, and now I'm just saying to hell with it. I'm going to read the whole darn thing and read, because I just finished a whole nother giant series, which I will be covering next week. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's about zillions of hours of reading time I spent on that. So we'll be covering that next. And the other thing I found was this little cartoon that's come out. You can also watch online. It's called Fantasy Hospital, and it's this funny little cartoon, and it's really short. This is kind of cool because a lot of people are doing short episodes and building them into like a movie that's an hour long.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Legacy.
And I'm liking what they're doing. Yeah, I'm liking what they're doing here. The Mortal Kombat Legacy idea, and they're 4 to 7 minute episodes or whatever. And it's kind of cool because you got this animated Fantasy Hospital series. The episodes are, I think, they're 4 to nothing's over 10 minutes. I'm sure of that. Nothing, maybe even 8 minutes. And there's about, I want to say 10 or 11 episodes, and it's a lot of fun. And it's got these names in it too. It's got Paulie Perrette, Pete Holmes, Emma Caulfield, Jonah Ray, Will Wheaton, a bunch of these names in this thing. Will Wheaton, huh?
Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
Family Guy.
And but it's about this. It's this fantasy setting, this kind of silly thing, almost like Simpsons or what's the one with the tentacle guy, the Futurama. Kind of like a combination of that.
Futurama's awesome.
But there's like a fantasy world with a hospital set up in this castle, and they're having problems. And somehow the real world, where this goofball doctor kid in training, who's just a complete, he's just a bum, but he's the doctor, but he's a lousy one, and he decides to quit, and somehow he gets kidnapped and brought into the fantasy hospital world to fix their problem, because they thought he was the best doctor, because when they went through the time portal or whatever, or the dimension portal, they said he had just put on his father's lab coat for fun, or his father's doctor coat with the tag on, and it's the doctor we're looking for, so they grab him, and they wind up grabbing the worst doctor of the bunch. And so he's got to go over and prove himself now in the fantasy world. But it's a lot of fun, and we'll have a link to that. And you can watch them all online. And so they do. I think they're a type of Kickstarter too. They're kind of raising some money for the shows, but they're fun. And what else do we got here? Fantasy House. For a lot of fun, we have a Valentine's Day gift guide. We put some silly stuff up if you want to buy your love.
I saw the best one ever.
What was it?
I was at Think Geek. And it was a little heart pillow, and it has a sword through it. And you can take the sword out and put the sword back in.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's got the heart's got like a sad face on it, so you can like stab the
heart. So we put in stuff like Valentine's Day Massacre and stuff like that. And, just some
focus
fun.
on the happy aspect.
The happy aspect. I don't think there's a happy thing in there, but it's a lot of fun. If you're a sci-fi fantasy horror geek.
You ever see the alien face hugger with the smiley face?
Yes, I love the face huggers or the Winnie the Pooh where he leans over the alien egg and it's on his face.
Yeah. Oh, bother.
Piglet's like, oh no! The expression on Piglet's face. So anyway, we got a Valentine's Day gift guide. Check it out. We'll have a link to it too. And oh, good heavens! I just got to write this down as I'm going because I want to. What else we got? The last thing is Overwatch has a Valentine's Day special they're going to do, and it
should start probably on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you'd think, or maybe before. I don't know how long.
Because the current one, Year of the Rooster, ends on the 13th.
Okay.
So that would make sense. Valentine's on the 14th.
They won't do it early, right?
Nah,
they
probably
start
not.
Okay. They definitely start on that
probably
day?
on the 14th because, which is actually a pretty quick turnaround because usually there's about a week or so in between, or even longer sometimes in between events. So that's nice.
So that'll be fun, and it was leaked. We don't really know what it is. It's just leaked, and
Overwatch is good about keeping stuff fresh, adding new modes and everything.
They say the voice lines all involve chocolates.
Well, why
Genji
wouldn't they?
asked Hanzo if he has any chocolates today. It's things like that. So who knows? What it's going to be. But the Chinese New Year went over huge. That was really big.
Year of the Rooster.
Year of the Rooster. That was a really big one. I know people are going crazy for that. So that's it for me. I think we've covered everything for now. We'll be back, of course, next week. Please do support us. If you like the podcast, we'd love to have you subscribe. It's easy. We are on iTunes now. If you do a search for Sci-Clops, write a review. If you like us, let us know what you like. Don't like, put notes in the comments. We're also on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and the website. And we have all the links up on the main page of the website. We also have the Valentine's Day gift guide pinned to the main page. So if you're dying for a gift and
get the stabby heart,
or we haven't got the stabby heart on there, but we got the
go to Think Geek and get the stabby heart.
Don't get the stabby heart. Go get yourself Valentine's Day Massacre and watch that with your true love. So anyway, that's about it. I think we're all done for the week. We'll be back next week with new books. I think we got another video game coming.
And the week after that's going to be our Wolverine theme episode.
Logan. We're going to be having a lot of fun. So anyway, you have a great week, and you keep the geek.
Bye, guys.
See you. Bye.